this mic go, please? This is the new mic at the front. Thank you.
Ooh, there's a bright light. Hello, everyone. I can't actually see anything because of the light, but that's good because it means I don't have to look at get nervous from the audience. But hello, welcome to this event, Horizon. So, as you know, this is a special event for celebrating women in science fiction, and I'm Lindsay Kroll, the host for the evening. So thanks everyone for coming out, and to everyone online, which I don't know where they are, but hello. But yeah, before we start, just a bit of info about the event and about Shoreline. So the event is organised by Shoreline of Infinity, as we know, with funding from Creative Scotland, and Shoreline of Infinity publish sci-fi magazines, books, and work with a wide variety of artists in and from Scotland. They now publish a monthly digital issue of their magazine, which includes sci-fi stories, poems, artwork, non-fiction articles, and book reviews, as well as in-print editions. So go and check out the merch table during the break for the latest issues, and also for a chance to get an extra raffle ticket for the amazing raffle. And yeah, follow their goings on on Twitter at ShoreInf. So yeah, we've got a fantastic evening ahead, jam-packed with some amazing acts of prose, poetry, drama, music, and yeah, we'll be hearing from our first act shortly, but what Event Horizon would be complete without the raffle. So I'm going to look at the first bag. I'm going to draw the first bag. Thank you. You should all, we'll all get tickets, we'll be fine. So we've got a few raffle bags. We'll draw them between acts to get you excited for the raffle later. So this one, we have space penguins, one tiny waddle for mankind, the best superhero movie, Green Lantern, No-Fic Gloss by Essa Hansen. Brilliant, excellent. We have some Grogu socks and some Galaxy Enchanted eggs. So that is the first raffle prize. Thank you, Russell. Sorry. So also for anyone who's been to the Event Horizon will know there's often in between acts entertainment. Though you're going to escape my terrible jokes, and no one wants to hear those. I'm not quite at the Russell level of joke telling, but instead I'm going to be reading some quotes from women in sci-fi, and would love to hear what you think of some of them. So the first one was said about sci-fi by an author. There is nothing new under the sun, but there are new suns. Anyone know who said that? No, it was Octavia Butler. But that's enough for me. So delighted to introduce our first act, a musical treat. We have Crow, 7 women playing new industrial metal with commitment. Where's the drums, you ask? They are 2 women, 2 sets of sample pads, 2 floor toms, 1 snare, and 10 metric tons of attitude. The rest is, as you'd imagine, keys, 5-string bass, vicious guitar, and a mad banshee screaming back at hell. Killer harmonies too, all pretty standard really. So please give a warm welcome to Crow and enjoy. Thank you.
lost their bit. Oh, we're back in. I'm not sure what to do there. What? Go to Spitfire. We're going to Spitfire. Can you see one? Okay. Welcome to this evening. Got a fantastic evening lined up. We're going to give you one more number and then we'll get on TikTok. Thank you. I'll take my animals off stage so you can go. I'll see you later.
Okay, wow, I don't even know what to say. That was amazing. That was a great way to start the night, as I'm sure you can all agree. Another big round of applause for Crow. Cool. So yeah, before I start the next section, I'm going to do another Raffle Bag Draw. Cool, right. So we have the follow-up to the famous Space Penguins book, but this one is In Space, No One Can Hear You Flap. Green Valley by Louise Greenberg. We have Ghostbusters. That's a good one. Magic Stars, Milky Way. And a little bit, you won't be able to see, but it's a cat-themed NASA badge. It's called CATSA, so quite cool. There you go. Thank you. So before our next act, I'm just going to do another quote from one of seminal SF book. I also have this poster on my wall above my writing desk, and I like to look at it sometimes. Beware, for I am fearless and therefore powerful. And that's from anyone? Not quite. I would like to see that crossover, though. It's from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Yes. I can't wait to read that one. Next up, we have some prose from Zabib K. Abraham. I can't remember where she is. Oh, there she is. So Z.K. Abraham is a writer and psychiatrist. She recently completed a master's in creative writing with distinction from the University of Edinburgh. She has been published in Fantasy Magazine, The Rumpus, Apparition Lit, and more. She writes reviews for Spectrum Culture and is in FWA. She explores psychological themes within speculative fiction and can be found on Twitter as @Pegasus_1 and online as zkabraham.com. So please welcome Zabib to the stage, who's going to read.
Thank you, Lindsay, and Crow, that was sick. Thank you. So I'll be reading a short piece called This Lonely Rock. He jerks the steering wheel left, swerving around the tight bend of the mountain road, nearly blinded by the simulated sun. On his right, a dead drop to a shimmering sea, Arctic blue waves knocking thin sheets of ice as fine as glass against the rocks below, breaking them up into shards. Dark green leaves fall in his windshield from the trees on his left. It makes no sense. There are no more glaciers, no more mountain roads along the northern or southern poles, no trees in cooler climates. He read all about it. Still, he likes to pretend. He swerves around the next corner, his senses sharp. How does that work? The voice interrupts his immersion. He grips the steering wheel, but a hand with red nail polish pushes aside the bright blue sky and cotton clouds and pink ribbons of sunrise until the pixels are cleared. A girl stands before him. I'm Carol. You're not from around here. He knows this because he knows every other kid on the moon, always has from the moment he was born, and he sounds cool saying it like that. No, my dad has stopped by to refuel. We're going to Mars. Is your dad a terraformer? I'm not supposed to say. You must be rich. She asks if he can join. Sweating, he scoots over to share the seat. A roaming, automated attendant brings them sodas. You never left the moon? Not even for a vacation? Nope. Puffing his chest out, he tries to smile because Carol is pretty. He tells her about his family, the first black family on the moon. That wasn't strictly true, but she didn't know better. They play a game a little longer and wander the mall. Everything on the moon is bright and shining, all concrete and glass. He wonders how it would be to walk outside and breathe fresh air that moved against your skin like it was alive. Carol dreams of being an artist, of her paintings being hung on the walls of grand museums and moving people to tears. He tells her he dreams of going back to Earth. Later, he remembers that afternoon, the hours between 1 and 4 p.m., determined by a time imposed on endless turning darkness, not by the rise and fall of the sun, as magical. When she eventually leaves the mall, she sashays down the magnetic path to her family's ship, which looks like a silver whale in the darkness. He holds on to that afternoon for years, the brief glow of sharing his dreams. The next week, he's bored in class, a tired teacher flipping through glitchy screens. He turns to the window to watch the transport ships rocketing off the surface. Vehicles sail across the darkness towards the pale red disk of Mars, or backwards towards the looming specter of the old world. It was familiar, the constant glow of Earth on their horizon, its storm systems, the thin line of day and night slinking across its globe, the shapes of its continents. The teacher calls on him. Gonna have to listen if you want to do better, Khaled. Okay. When Khaled turns 14, he and his friends celebrate by drinking beer, the cheap and local draft that tastes like metal and dirt. They sneak out in their suits after bedtime and pick up spare parts in the small craters in the Western Division. The beer loosens his tongue as Khaled declares he will move back to Earth. They only want engineers and scientists, man. It's a shit show down there. I mean it. His friends laugh and Randy shoves him into the nearest crater. Khaled's mother and father want him to do better in school, to start planning for a career. But he begins to have dreams of jade continents swimming in cobalt seas. He jumps out of a ship into Earth's atmosphere, falling and falling until he lands in the ocean and tastes the tang of salt water, then swims to the shore and walks barefoot on the coarse yellow sand. Every morning he wakes up to the same gray-brown walls, the same landscape of rocks and metallic dwellings that reflect the sun in painful gleams. Along the route of the boxy lunar school bus with its iron-cooled seats, he watches the daily space elevators bring supplies from Earth, returning to the surface like acrobats unfurling from a black, starry ceiling. Moon settlers need water or leafy shoots carefully sheathed in rows of plastic, other goods they can't recycle or manufacture. Before Grandpa died, he'd given Khaled a necklace with a leaf from his old garden on Earth. Khaled keeps it hung up in his room, a small reminder of what once was, what might be again, even as the green fades with each passing year. High school graduation comes and goes. Khaled has his dreams, but has never been good at figuring out the steps between an idea and an action. His grades are mediocre, and he can't get a competitive job off-world. Soon enough. At least he's good with his hands and used to the unforgiving terrain. His grandpa was a miner, his uncle too, so Khaled becomes a miner. People need ore, underground water. He'll save for his great migration. Every day he descends underground, his helmet light cutting a bright triangle into the frozen darkness. They call it digging into Earth still. He isn't scared of the enclosure, the weight of rock above him, like the others are. It's just more nothing, like the nothing of all that space outside. The months and years roll on. The moon undergoes more construction. Earth's skies are filling with smog, the coasts are flooding, and people are moving to the moon every day. Every night, Khaled travels to fertile lands in his sleep. He tastes the maple sweetness of tree bark, rough on his tongue, inhales the charcoal scent of powdered snow. He loses a bunch of money when he breaks his leg. He tries to invest in the new promising businesses, but fails at that too. He drinks way too much beer with his friends at the miners' pub. The beats of the days are familiar. Dig, descend. At night, he lays on his cot, still covered in the day's grime, his mining suit chucked on the floor. The faint smell of iron hangs around the room. Rents rise, old settlements invaded by wealthy newcomers. Everything is changing on the moon. The years pass. Every day, Khaled feels the rumble of construction under his feet. The new sheen of commercialization falls over their rock. New malls, tall apartment buildings with large glass windows. Navy-suited businessmen build a new attraction, the greenhouse. Khaled pays for tickets for him and his mom. She loves it, says all the shades of green remind her of Earth. Khaled wanders past small trees, touching the bark until a guard yells at him. He sees a woman walk by, dark hair braided down her back, and waves at her by instinct. It's Carol, the girl he met all those years ago. We're visiting for business. Family's always dragging me with them. So do you ever leave? What? I remember you said you wanted to go back to Earth. He grins, his cheeks warm. Yeah, I'll be going. Got plans. But I'll see you around then? Oh, Carol gazes at her feet. Sure. His plans are always around the corner. Next month, next year. He sees spots in the new training programs, new jobs on Earth building mega islands for people to live on. But the competition is fierce and Khaled is just getting ahead at work. He's a supervisor now. He's always been an ace at the stabilization gears, the feel of the machinery. He's best at it because he doesn't care about the risk, always ready to push, go deeper. Soon enough, he'll fly away. Khaled meets a woman, Alice. Alice grew up there too, and she's kind and agrees they must travel one day. They settle down and have their first kid before either of them expect it. The moon is a different place. More people, more development, more self-sustaining water and plant systems. Savings go to the kids, to a bigger dome to live in, to trips with Alice, to resorts on the east side of the moon. He'll get off this rock when they have more money, when the kids are older. Moon life ages everyone strangely. The scientists are still figuring it out. Khaled's generation is the first born and raised here. Years of calibrated gravity settle in their bones. Limbs get heavy with age, joints loose. Khaled and Alice do more exercise to stay limber as they age. Humanity is figuring out how to permanently live off Earth. People leave the planet in droves, for the moon, for Mars, for city ships with populations of thousands. Khaled's mother is old now. She lives most of her days in the virtual reality suites, where she can pretend to travel all over the universe. As a regional supervisor at work, Khaled only goes down for the toughest digs. He feels a new ache in his gut, maybe a sensitivity to all these newly available fresh foods. He stares at his grandpa's necklace, faded pale yellow now, remembering the stories Grandpa told him. Khaled hardly recognizes the celestial body anymore, his small world heavy with new structures. Sometimes he can't see the stars or Earth through the sea of flashing lights. Mars is fully habitable. City ships roam space, always moving, never settled. People live across the solar system, and Earth is truly dying. Its forests decimated, its sea levels catastrophic, and the few people are still living there, but survive in habitable domes just like on the moon, or giant man-made islands where the sky is really a ceiling. He can sometimes still see Earth on the horizon through all the lights, stretches of iron blue, land masses now a dull green, vast white clouds roaming on the surface. He knows he will go back. He will.
Wow, thanks very much, Zoe. That was so beautiful and evocative. Kind of makes me want to go live on the moon, but also not. So, yeah, another big round of applause. That was great for our class players. So next up we have some poetry from Clementine E Burnley. So Clementine is a feminist migrant mother, writer, and community organiser. She lives in Edinburgh. Her work has appeared or is upcoming in Magma, The Poetry Review, and The Scientifictionist. She is a 2021 Sky Arts Award winner, an alumnus of Obsidian Foundation, and a 2021 Edwin Morgan Second Life grantee. And you can find her on social media via Twitter at decolonialheart. Please welcome, sorry to check and answer anything. Please welcome up Clementine for some poetry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to start off with one called Truth. It's one of the newer ones that I've written. My father grew up along this road, somewhere. Can you not hear me? Okay, I'll start again. Truth. My father grew up along this road somewhere. He was beautiful. He's long gone in the ground. I'm a man now. And I still hear him some nights prophesying. Alles ist okay, he says. Alles ist gut. He snaps his tongue, catches a snatch of Count Basie or Satchel Mouth. Alles ist okay. He says to me, alles ist gut. He'd no time for disco, although if we insisted, he would demonstrate the chicken walk to prove Elvis Presley was no bluesman. Repeat after me, he'd say, alles ist okay. Alles ist gut. He was named in time of war. Gott hilf, Gott lieb. God help you, his parents called him. God love you. I preached the second coming of bees to the Sahel. No one believed me. I'm on a repeat prescription, but alles ist okay. Alles ist gut. I work the old beat on my own. I'm the youngest, the only one left to tell how we renamed every new place after our gifts and talents, after our dead abodes. I sing a cappella in my snapping turtle tongue. Alles ist okay. Alles ist gut. Until the bees come back. Alles ist okay. Alles ist gut. Thank you. This one is called How to Return Favors. 1. Take a few moments to recall all your fictive kin, the generations, the tribe you called work shy, the left behind, the missing, the ones you ghosted just because. 2. When I look in the mirror, I see the angle of her head, the gap in her front teeth, the way she could cuss up a supernova. 3. Elders, ancestral rivers, one storm removed. 4. Remember someone. They don't have to be perfect or human. 5. Just pick one. 6. Notice the impulse to cry unfold deep inside you. 7. Sink deeper. 8. Because this is for you, don't move. Notice. Wait for it. Take a moment to recall all your fictive kin, the generations, the tribe you called work shy, the left behind, the missing, the ones you ghosted just because. And if you like, write a note. When we first built the cabins, we thought like a cargo cult. Carve a cradle and the child would come. Just 1 year, then the next. The seasons following in a straight line, like the raw flesh of plantation pines. Clear cuts, planks laid out to dry in the light of a foreign sun, till roots reclaim the symmetry the saws wrought. Some evening, songs, an acoustic guitar, an old man draws truth like a sword. Here, we are the last dream on earth. I'm getting a little mixed up with these multiple pieces of paper I have here. Okay, I have the order. I take confession in kind. Beetles, locusts, ladybugs. I didn't know how close we came to losing the argument. It was a hungry season. My sister smuggled rice seeds in the brown burrs of her dreadlocks. At night she dreamed 6 fat calves fed from her breasts. 6 thin strangers fed from mine. I have worked on myself enough. I am immune to hope. In the days before the billionaires returned, we went to book clubs and open forums. The anti-lynching bill was approved at its first reading. Council tax went down below the price of milk. We were so few, so far. No prisons. No corporations to reboot our hex codes, hoardings, empty billboards for graffiti. Teens start to gather, and there is no alarm. No gangs databases, no preemptive strikes, no realpolitik, no drones, no politics. Meine Liebling, where we live now, my dove, in the lee, on a young world, trees kick their heels in the shelter. On the whole, our soil is good. Loving and loving, this is all we do now. The logic can seem random. There is duplication in our roles. We live our Lieblingsfarbe, all the freewheeling colors. We live in unprecedented times now, but still we live. We write small notes. Take shelter. We are waking. The rapture has stopped. Now, perhaps this is the nature of the work.
Thank you. Those were great and really powerful poems there. So thanks very much again, everyone. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. So before the final act of the first part, I'm going to do the final raffle bag. Bet you can't guess what is also in this bag. We have space penguins again. This one is Sky is No Longer the Limit. We have Gravity. I haven't actually seen Gravity, maybe I should see that. Greensmith by Alia Whiteley. I loved this book last year, so you're in for a treat if you win that. Space Stickers. A rocket bath bomb. And some Mars cookies. I think that's everything in there.
There's also a bonus piece, which is a signed piece of artwork from the artist.
Wow. And there's also a couple of piles of books as well for extra. So our next act is another prose writer. We have Rhiannon Grist here with us. I'm glad she was able to join us in person because wasn't sure flying back from France and things. That was a bit loud. So Rhiannon is a Welsh writer of weird, speculative and dark fiction living in Edinburgh. Her work has featured in Shoreline of Infinity, Gutter, Monstrous Regiment Literary Magazine, Three Crows Magazine, and the Best of British Science Fiction. Her novella, The Queen of the Highfields, is now available from Luna Press, and I finished that this week, and it was really brilliant, so you need to read it. Please welcome Rhiannon to the stage. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, hi, hello. Woo. This is the first one I'm doing live in person in some time. I'm not just emoting to a webcam. I can see your faces, your beautiful but slightly terrifying faces. Hi, sorry. So the piece I'm going to read tonight was first published in Gutter magazine and then later on into Best of British Sci-Fi 2020. Look, you got to brag. I'm really glad we got the raffle tickets because I forgot to bring a bookmark with me, so I've been able to use it. Pocket. Right, so this is The World is on Fire and You're Out of Milk. I know, I love it. You just pulled off your flame-retardant boots when you realised you'd forgotten the milk. You're tired from work and all you want is a coffee, a cup of warm milk poured over a homemade double shot. You check the fridge just in case, but it's true, you're out. Things are bad enough. Now you have to head back out, and just after you changed out of your boiler suit. This is unbearable, you think, but only to yourself, because it would feel like a sin, even here in your own home, to say it out loud. Because, despite everything, it is bearable. everything is treacherously bearable. And because you can bear it, back out for milk you must go. You spread a fresh layer of ointment onto your cheeks and forearms, you pull on your Teflon undershirt and strap back into your boiler suit. You fit your oxygen mask, the stickers you used to decorate it in the beginning have all but burned off, and you set off. The heat hits you the moment you open the door of your apartment building. It's not too bad today. Some days it's a dry heat and the hairs on your arms turn crisp and brittle. Some days the sweat pools in the corners of your eyes and runs down the bare road of your back. And some days you're the one burning. You burn from the inside out with more wrath and frustration than you know what to do with, so you wait and hold on until you get home and douse yourself off in a cold shower and scream into your hands. But today it's just a constant throbbing heat, a rash, a discomfort. At least your flat has a decent cooling system. At least you managed to get that together before the world burst into flames. The nearest shop is only 5 minutes walk away, but the orange haze filling the street makes it feel so much further. You don't want to be out here. You want to be at home with your coffee and your Netflix. You hate having to see it up close, the state of it all. The houses blackened with soot and scorch marks, the pavement littered with ash, the air filled with smog, the flames licking up drain pipes, the trees in the park smouldering like dragon's teeth, and... Is that a stone in your boot? Oh, for Christ's sake. Oh, it's right by the heel, too. If only you could shake it down into the toe or even the arch, but it's stuck in the lining that stops the pavement blistering the soles of your feet. First the milk, now a stone. Fantastic. Would it be so bad drinking your coffee black? All you'd need is hot water, and you've got plenty of that these days, ha-ha. How do you always run out of milk so quickly anyway? Do you use too much in your porridge? Were the shops making the cartons smaller? Maybe it evaporated somehow. You wouldn't put it past the fire to evaporate milk out of spite. You briefly consider giving up. You go on. Down by the wall outside your local shop hunkers a man with a foil sheet wrapped around his head and shoulders. This is not the first person you've seen caught outside with minimum protection. He clutches an empty water bottle and a twisted tube of ointment. The pads of his fingers are red raw. Why doesn't he go inside the shop? Is he waiting for someone? Was he thrown out? You should probably ask if he's okay. You don't. You step into the vacuum chamber at the shop's entrance. After the hiss of repressurization, you step into the clean, bright aisles, slip off your mask and head to the dairy section. Row upon row of cold, sweating cartons line up before you, a sterile forest of cool, white comfort ready to smother the heat outside. Sometimes you fantasize about taking a nap on the 2-litre jugs on the lower shelf. You imagine your clothes blooming with damp, condensation gathering in dewdrops on your skin, breath rising in small white clouds in front of your eyes. What luxury! What unrivaled decadence! To think there was once a time when you could have jumped into a mountain lake or rolled in snow. It feels unbelievable now, like you made it up or saw it in a dream. You remember when the smell of smoke would ignite a warm, peppery excitement in the pit of your belly, how it would make you think of summer evenings on a pebbled beach, sat round a glowing fire pit, tucked into the cliffside, mouth laced with flat cider, hair thick with sea salt. How the smell would keep the memory of those magic nights alive for a day or two in the cuffs of your jumper. Now you dream of bed-sized fridges, frozen wastes, and biblical monsoons. You resist the urge to climb into the chiller and pick up a carton of milk instead. The shelves closest to the self-checkout are stacked with bottled water and travel-sized tubes of ointment. Next to them, there's a table set up with leaflets and stickers. Looks like another dowsing drive. On Saturday, a group of about 50 to 100 locals will fill up buckets, bottles, bags and basins from their taps at home, then go out to the park and pour water over the fires. You've been to a few yourself in the beginning. You know what will happen. The flames will die down for a few hours, and then the water will dry off, and a new spark will set everything alight again. No one knows how to stop the sparks for good, but they'll keep holding dowsing drives anyway. At least it's something. The person manning the stall looks up and catches your eye. A flash of recognition flickers over their face. You stop in your tracks. You know them. You went to university with them. You used to hang out at the same ramshackle pubs and drink the same cheap wine. There was even a time on that pebbled beach round the fire pit tucked into the cliff when you both talked about how you were going to change the world. The memory of once believing the world could be changed hits a little harder than you'd like. You realise that in all your late-night plotting and all your beer-mat manifestos, you never once thought that one day the world might erupt into flames. A lot has changed. You've changed. You got tired. Meanwhile, they, your old friend on the dowsing stand, have only become more passionate, more determined, and now you think of it, more annoying. Yes, they annoy you. Their passion feels accusatory somehow, as if it's your fault the world is on fire, as if you knowingly chose this. You imagine them looking at you, their eyes travelling down your arm to your hand to the cold, wet carton of milk. You imagine them frowning and thinking, where are you taking that milk? Shouldn't you use it to douse the flames? Don't you want to help put out the fires? Is your coffee really more important than the world? But they're not the one thinking this. You are. You add a bottle of water from the shelves to your shopping and tuck it all into your triple-lined tote bag. Luckily for you, your old friend is busy talking to some students. They probably haven't got time to catch up with you, and you don't really want to hear what you should be doing to fix things. Not right now, not today, not after the milk and the stone. You give them a friendly wave, just in case they heard you thinking before, and slip back out into the flaming world before they have a chance to say a word. Outside the shop, the man is gone. His foil sheet flutters against a drain pipe. You hope this means he's gone inside. You head home. You try to avoid the stone still stuck in the lining of your boot. Meanwhile, your mind is a tennis court, batting the same old arguments back and forth. It's not that you disagree. Something should be done. This is not okay. The world is not okay. But you can't see how to fix things. You've seen all the articles, the blogs, the tweets, and the Facebook posts, and you're at a loss. You can't put out the fires, and thinking about that for too long makes you want to tear out your hair. You open your mouth to scream, but screaming is just as hopeless. The fire would only feed on the air from your lungs while you suffocate. And it's so easy to suffocate in the flames. You take a deep breath. You can't stop the world from burning, but you can stop yourself burning up with it. So you go back through the street, back through the fires, back to the shop. You sign up to the dowsing drive. Your old friend is still busy, but they give you a sticker and a smile. You know the sticker will just burn up like all the others. You put the sticker on your oxygen mask anyway. Outside the shop, you leave the bottle of water underneath the foil sheet, just in case. You say sorry for so quickly judging the man caught outside, for not stopping to ask if he was okay. He's not here, and even if he was, he probably wouldn't be able to hear you over the hiss of your respirator and the crackle of the fire. You say it all out loud anyway. Back in your flat, you spoon out coffee. You pass water through the external pipes, redirecting the heat and pressure from the world outside to turn this earthy powder into a spell of revival. You pour in warm milk, spooling a swirling caramel galaxy in the center of the black, bitter liquid. Because you need the milk to soften the stimulant, to turn the punch into an embrace. And you still believe you owe yourself more embraces than punches. You sip and feel the warmth, a good and gentle warmth, spread through your chest. Then you stand at the window and you watch the world burn. You can't stop the fires, but you can make an old friend smile. You can leave water for those caught out. You can keep dousing the flames no matter how many times they come back. And maybe one day you'll even see the fire reduced to a smoulder. You can go on. You can bear it. But maybe have your coffee first. Thank you very much. Quick plug, I do have a novella that's out. You can get it at Luna Press and all the other places that you get your book needs filled. It's about two women who escape their hometown to a mythical island off the coast of their town called the Highfields, only for 10 years later, one of them to return to the Highfields to face the friend turned goddess she left behind. Okay, that's me done. Plug over.
Thank you, Rhiannon. That was great. I think I heard that story before, and I enjoyed it as much a second time. But yeah, another applause for Rhiannon. So yeah, we're just about to go into a break, and a reminder again to visit the merch table for the latest issue, which I have here. It'll be like traveling in time because it's not actually out until the 7th of April, I think. So pick up a copy, and you'll also get an extra raffle ticket. The break is about 15 minutes, so get yourself a drink, and then we'll be back for more prose, drama, and music. And I'm going to leave you with a quote before the break from Anne Leckie in Ancillary Justice. If you're going to make a desperate, hopeless act of defiance, you should make it a good one, like going out in an apocalypse to get milk. So I didn't plan that, but it seems appropriate. But yeah, thanks everyone for enjoying the first act, hopefully. And we'll see you in about 15 minutes. Hope you all had a nice break visiting the merch table and getting your raffle tickets. We'll be drawing that later on. So we're starting the second part of the night with a very exciting piece of drama. Star Cuddy is a dramatic piece directed by Jennifer Mcgregor and assistant director Kirsty Vance, who's here and is going to introduce in a wee bit. Performed by Debbie Cannon. Kirsty Vance is an up-and-coming filmmaker living in Edinburgh with experience both behind and in front of the camera. She's recently worked on projects including Run, Out to Kill, The Priesthood, and a forthcoming horror feature film shot here in Scotland, so that's exciting. Debbie Cannon is an actor and writer who has written, performed, and produced 2 one-woman shows, the award-winning Green Knight and The Remarkable Deliverances of Alice Thornton. She's currently one of the playwrights being supported through Playwright Studios Scotland's 2022 Playwright Mentoring Scheme. You can find out more about her at www.debbiecannon.org. Finally, Jen Mcgregor is a writer, dramaturge, and director, trained at Mount View and mentored by Rob Drummond through Playwright Studio. Her play Heaven Burns won the 2018 Art Award, and she's many other award-winning directing credits as well, and writing credits. So yeah, I'll pass over to Kirsty to come and give a bit of an intro to this piece, which will be on screen shortly.
So Star Cuddy was originally written in 2018 by Jen. It was a spoken word piece that was supported by Illicit Inc. and the Hidden Door Festival. Recently, Jen decided that she wanted to rework it and get away completely from text. So what we did was basically we went into a room that was completely blacked out. We played with lights and with sound that was created by a composer called Chaya, who's amazing. We put loads of UV makeup on Debbie, played the music and just let her do her thing. And this is what we came up with. We really hope you enjoy it. It is a work in progress and hopefully there will be more to come. Okay.
didn't want to get in front of the credits. Yeah, thanks. That was great. I think what was one of the things I really love about Event Horizon is the real wide range of things we get to listen to and see. So thanks again to Kirsty, Debbie, and Jen for that. Amazing. And actually, the quote I have to read out next just happens to be quite appropriate. And I was talking to some people at the break about favourite books, and every author I've ever known just went out of my head. I couldn't think of a single one. But this is from one of my favourite authors, I remember now. The universe is what we make of it. It's up to you to decide what part you will play. And that's from A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. who's one of my favourite authors, and fits quite well with that drama piece, I think. Yes, we've got one final literary performance tonight from Lauren, or T.H. Dre, who is a writer whose work has appeared in BFS Horizons and in the charity anthology Flotation Device. She is a member of the Glasgow Science Fiction Writers Circle and a founding member of Edinburgh SFF Writers. Woo, just part of that. And has acted, shout out for us, has acted as a judge for the British Fantasy Awards. She lives in Glasgow with 5 Staffordshire Bull Terriers and 1 bearded dragon. So please welcome Lauren to the stage.
Thank you, Lindsay. I was going to say something about, women not always being allowed to be as funny, but I think Rhiannon knocked out the park earlier. So, in the spirit of space penguins, here's a story about a seagull. Perched atop the highest vantage on Craig Street, webbed feet splayed upon a wet slate roof, I survey my territory. A wide thoroughfare of mixed domiciles, 4 in a block rough-cast flats, and a cluster of new builds. North lies a T-junction leading to a busy dual carriageway. To the south, a large supermarket with deep and luscious industrial bins. Security starlings flit and chatter in electronic bursts, warning each other of me, as well they might. They know my designation, know I am stronger than them. For I am a seagull, a sentient, aggressive, urban littoral life form, patroller of air beach sands, punisher of miscreants who would dare use deck chairs without a permit. I was a lesser blackback gull once, but humans took me, made me a machine. They reinforced the wrathful downturn of my bill, transformed my resplendent 4th winter plumage. They filled the cavity of my breast with artillery and replaced the lenses of my eyes with sight keener than a hawk's. Sight that can detect a single falling crisp upon sandy shoreline, 200 feet aloft. That apparently was a problem. There were injuries, complaints. The company ordered me to lay low for a month, and my rival claimed the most prestigious perch atop Pirate Pete's Adventure Play Park. Pride-winded, I flew inland, claimed this roof. This street is my new territory. A breeze stirs, ruffles my carbon fibre feathers. I turn a baleful eye on the humans below. A white-haired lady, more puffer coat than human, walks with grim purpose towards the large supermarket. A man hangs paint-spattered overalls on a washing line. A group of children toss a football back and forth. One little girl stares at me. My facial recognition software assesses her. Frizzy brown hair, dark eyes enhanced by artificial lenses, a mouth full of metal. Jade Thompson, aged 10, of domicile 43A, Craig Street. Though my threat scanners read negative, I do not like the way she stares. In a show of dominance, I spread my wings and fire my eye lasers. White hot beams score twin scorch marks across the tarmac. The man swears and drops his washing in fright. The white-haired lady shakes her head, mutters something about phoning the council. I throw back my head and laugh raucously. A mere council stop me? Jade Thompson gathers up her football, waves goodbye to her friends, and retreats into her domicile, glaring at me as she closes the door. I have prevailed. But Jade Thompson's threat status may change at any moment. From my rooftop bays, I initiate a surveillance campaign to observe her daily habits. Though her bedtime is 9 p.m, Jade Thompson stays up late into the night, using her phone to access a website named Crowdfunder. I do not know what this means. 1 month later, a truck pulls up outside Jade Thompson's domicile. 2 couriers deposit a wooden crate upon the pavement and knock the door. With suspicious alacrity, Jade Thompson answers, nods in response to several questions asked by the puzzled delivery men, then rises on tiptoe to sign a proffered document. She retreats briefly into her domicile, reappears with sturdy scissors, and begins to hack at the plastic cords holding the lid in place. Before she severs the final cord, she scans the rooftops, spots me. A wicked grin stretches her round face. Snip. The cord splits and the lid bursts open. A dark, streamlined shape erupts from the crate in a thunderclap of wings. I need no recognition software to categorize that blunt head, that broad-shouldered aerodynamic chassis, the blue-grey iridescent plumage. This is a pinpoint geospatial neutralizer, a pigeon unit. I throw back my head. Does this foolish little human believe a pigeon unit could defeat me? Before humans made me a machine, I destroyed organic pigeons, seized them by their necks, and shook the life from their fragile bodies. I shrieked as I tore into their gizzards, dyeing the yellow length of my bill with their blood. This interloper will share the same fate. In 2 heavy wing beats, I am airborne. The pigeon unit streaks towards me, and as we meet in the sky above domiciles 14A through D, we pause, draw back our wings, and bring them down like the hammer of gods. Pressure waves collide with a boom that shakes Craig Street. Car alarms wail, curtains twitch, a dog barks. Jade Thompson winces and covers her ears. A fierce aerial battle rages. The pigeon unit swoops, dives, dodges blasts from my laser cannons. Deflects sonic shrieks that would scramble its neural networks. Humans emerge from their domiciles, stand opally on the street to gawk. Some begin to cheer for the pigeon unit. Foolish humans, I will crush their joy. The hatch on my flank opens and I deploy Seed, my secret emergency enemy diversion. Oats, rice, crushed peanuts, and delicious sunflower seeds fall and scatter upon the pavement, a most nutritious rain. The pigeon unit emits an electronic coo of delight and swoops down to land to claim the unexpected prize. Jade Thompson jumps up and down, waving her arms. The pigeon unit heeds not her frantic warnings, is content to greedily peck at grain. Now I will strike. I tuck my wings close and drop like a falcon. The pigeon unit pecks, oblivious. My radar pings impact in 8 meters, 7, 6. My victory is imminent and my heart sings with glee. 5 meters, 4. The pigeon unit's blunt head turns suddenly, and in the glowing red eyes I detect no sign of unawareness. Alarms clamour, threats, but I am falling too far, too fast to counter. A static burst of communication spikes through my head. I discern 3 chilling words. Engage. Rocket beak. The pigeon's stumpy beak clamps shut. detaches from the fleshy white moorings of its snares with a pneumatic sss, and somewhere in the cavity of its tiny skull, propellant ignites. The beak rockets towards me and slams into my bill. Electric pulses fill my head. Pain, pain. I drop to the pavement, bounce once, twice, and land in a heap on a square of lawn. The humans of Craig Street cheer. Lying, spread seagulls on the pavement. Battered, singed, defeated, I stare wide-eyed at the sky. My life flashes before my eyes. Deck chairs, ice cream, sand and thievery. How had my hubris led me to this end? Never before have I tasted defeat. I do not like it. It is sour and churns in my guts like hot dog onions. Then Jade Thompson looms over me, bearing her mouth full of metal and a savage grin. Can you hear me, seagull? My throat clicks 3 times in acknowledgement. Weak, pathetic sounds. If you promise to go away and never bother us again, I'll take you in and patch you up. Patch me up? The 12th most advanced security seagull on the market? We have Watsits, Jade says. I pause. Watsits. I do like Watsits. An alert pings. Other adult humans are approaching. Some of them look angry. It would do no harm to concede, I suppose. Were Jade Thompson to patch me up, I could devour her Watsits, fly back to Air Beach, soar over sand and sea again, resume the mantle of terror of the deck chairs, and reclaim my rightful perch atop Pirate Pete's adventure play park. Of course, I have no choice. But I am a seagull. Our pride is boundless. I wait a moment, regard Jade Thompson with a haughty eye, and slowly extend one white feathered wing. Thank you.
That was brilliant. Every time I read one of Lauren's stories, I'm always surprised by it, and I love them. So it's safe to say that's probably the best seagull story I've ever heard. So another big round of applause for Lauren, our TH Trey. So we're going to be returning for some music shortly, back to Crow for the last act. We'll need a couple of minutes to set up, I think. But just before that, we're going to do the Raffle Draw. I actually didn't ask Russell how this works, so just oh, there's a thing. Cool. Do you want me to draw them, or...? Okay, so our third prize bag, which has the Norfolk Gloss, Green Lantern, and one of the Space Penguins books, is the number 851. Yay! Next up, the Green Valley, Ghostbusters, and Space Penguins book also. And the Cat's a badge is 864. Oh, there you go. First prize bag, which is Gravity, Alia Whiteley, Space Stickers, etc. We have 846. Oh, it's you! We also have 2 piles of books. 845. There you go. Do you want to come up and collect your books, or Russell will bring them? And, well, I just... 849 for the last stack of books. Yay! Right, so that's the end of the raffle. And yeah, we'll be welcoming Crow for some more music soon. And then I'll be back for a final say from me. But enjoy the music.
Oh, there I am. Right, have we all got... We got no keyboards here? Oh, there she is. Look at her. Right, you good? Is everyone good?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming tonight, celebrating women in sci-fi. I'd like to thank Noel, Russell and Lindsay for setting this up. And thank you everyone who's put in tonight, and thank you for turning up, coming out. It's good, it's good. We're going to finish the evening with 2 songs. Drag it down. The enemy I feel beneath my skin. She no longer serves me. Now I need the darkness creeping in. Where it all begins, I see the need. Illuminate the space so I can breathe. Let it wash me clean. You're saying all the pain. Come on home, still every grasp that's still in place. Maybe you should join me. My heart no longer beats, and the blue will wash you clean. Hold me under. I wanna drag it down. Hold me under, hold me under. I wanna drag you down. Yeah. Hold me under, hold me under. I wanna drag you down. The enemy I feel beneath my skin. She no longer serves me. Now I need the darkness creeping in. Where it all begins, I see the need. Illuminate the space so I can breathe. Let it wash me clean. Hold me under. I wanna drag it down. Hold me under. Hold me under. You're seeing all the pain. The mirror image laughing in you. The miracle that haunts you. Still your every grasp that's still in place. Maybe you should join me. I hope no longer beats, and the blue will wash you clean. Hold me under. I wanna drag it down. Hold me under. Hold me under. I wanna drag it down. Yeah. Down. Down. Thank you. We got one more song, and we're gonna finish the evening. And Lindsay's just gonna come up at the end and say goodbye to everyone. This one is dedicated to all of the witches. Everyone knows a witch. Ah! Yes, we are alive and we are here. Goodbye, the only says you're the one. There's all years here makes me wet as your streets meet. Underneath the old apple tree, only wear your birthday suit. You'll feel the breeze and the fire too. They burned you, they tied you to the stake, but you never gave in, even as your heart burned away. In the years to come, they'll admit they were wrong. I can't bring it back, but I can sing this song. Hallelujah, I cry to the witches that died. Hallelujah, I cry to the witches that died. Makes me where the statues stand. Underneath the old bandstand, we speak in whispers so they can hear. You are my brother and I live in fear. Hallelujah, I cry to the witches that died. Hallelujah, I cry to the witches that died. the witches that died. And so mango goes back. Min hoja miras marionen. Because I'm Kogan and me Caroline. Thank you very much. Lindsay, you there? Where is she?
I think we can all agree that was an amazing way to end tonight's event horizon. So thanks very much again to Crow, everyone. That was amazing. Yeah, just a couple of final things for me to say before we close the evening, and you can all go get a drink and stay and mingle. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Thanks to our readers and performers, Crow, Zveeb K. Abraham, Clementine Burnley, Rhiannon Grist, Debbie, Jen, and Kirsty with Star Cuddy, and T.H. Dre. Also thanks to Russell and I can't see Noel for asking me to host the venue, and Sandy for live streaming, Lewis for light and sound, and for everyone who's also here virtually and everyone here today. I think the next event horizon is going to be at Chimera Fest, so hope to see you all there, and also hopefully you're all going to Chimera Fest. But yeah, hope you all have a lovely evening, and thanks very much.
And can we also have a massive round of applause for Lindsay, who was an amazing host and organised all of this, and it wouldn't have happened without her, so thank you, Lindsay.